Hey everyone, welcome to the results video of our second Microcoaster contest. Now in this contest all the players had to create a small coaster within 100 tiles. They could not have any other opened rides. Now we got 24 entries for this contest, which is a lot. In this video I will show all of them. I'll start with the one that got the lowest score and I'll finish by announcing who's the winner of this round. Okay, in 24th place we have this entry from Brian Blackner. He created this vertical drop coaster which first got launched up here onto this hill. Then here does a little turnaround and then finally here's the vertical drop. After that vertical loop and then a few more twists and turns before it comes back to the station. Now, I think the layout of the ride actually is quite okay. What I thought was less okay is actually the scenery. All the scenery down here looks to be placed a bit randomly. These rocks here are placed in the same orientation, and these statues for some reason are all facing away from the path. Come on, man, and when you place a statue, let it face the path. Also, it's just a bit sad. People will just be looking at the butt of the station. Or maybe that was the intention, I don't know. Alright, then in 23rd place we have the entry from Gabriel the Trash Cat. Gabriel the Trash Cat created this tiny steel wild mouse here. I think Gabriel could have easily made it a little bit taller and have it be a little bit more exciting than this. Also, it looks like these supports here are floating on top of the fence here. That probably could have could use a look at. Now, what I saw lots of people comment on is these empty patches here of grass. It would have been easy to just put a statue here. Some more flowers here. I mean, this part is decorated with some bushes. This could have easily also used some bushes. And something which I found a little bit strange is that the guests walk into this wall here to order their pizza. I mean, we do have something similar in the Netherlands called Febo, where guests get snacks from a wall. But it does kind of look different than this. Alright, then the next entry is from Zach, or Zach's Workshop. He created this RMC. It's basically, it's based on a Wild Moose coaster, which is kind of like their Wild Mouse model. Not sure if they have actually sold one of those yet, but the renders of the ride type looked really cool. Now, I do think the station is maybe a little bit too short. It looks like it's just 2 station tiles and the train doesn't actually fit in it. The brakes also seem a bit abrupt. I think Zach actually maybe accidentally set them to 0 kilometers per hour, which is a thing in OpenRCT2, but not recommended. Probably 6 kilometers per hour is good enough for a brake. Because the riders will slam into the brakes over here. No, and also when you have a ride with supports like these, probably best to not have bushes or trees under the supports. It will look kind of strange. But yeah, I think the layout actually looks pretty nice. Alright, next entry is from 73. He created this coaster called Brain Rot. Now, I actually quite like the color scheme in this map. Although it does look like the same color scheme that 73 uses in all of his entries. Yeah, the layout, it goes up high into the sky here and does several inversions. I think it's quite nice to see the coaster fly through the air like this. Now, what I actually like most about this entry is the decoration here and mostly these balls here on the side. That looks pretty nice. Now, once again, it does look like the station is a little bit too short for the coaster train. Alright, then It's Just Curtis makes his return once again. I believe he hasn't joined the contest for 5 years. Can't believe we're already doing these for 5 years. But yeah, he made this a pretty cool layout for a twister coaster. Looks like a little train with 2 vehicles. Here's a little holding brake. Finally, here's another helix before it returns back to the station. I think the layout of the ride actually looks really nice. I think it's just the decoration part that could have used some more work. Alright, here's the entry from LOL69. He created this shuttle loop, which actually has a vertical spike. And as you can see, the vertical spike is held up by the power of friendship. Maybe it would have been nice to see a support here of some sorts to hold it up. But yeah, Right now you'll just have to imagine that this thing is just made of really strong material that won't flex with this vehicle on top of it. Now I think the park actually looks pretty nice. I quite like the decoration here. Yeah, LOL69, I think he did a nice job here. Okay, here's the entry from Marcel. Marcel actually created this entry on stream. Now it looks just like a big mass of steel here, but I actually quite like it. Of course the decoration is a little bit spammy, but yeah, scenery isn't really Marcel's strong suit. Now the layout, yeah, if you can follow it, I think it's actually pretty nice. Yeah, I think it's fun how at the bottom here is just a big sea of supports. Definitely makes the coaster look impressive. What I actually like most is the name of the park. Okay, next up is the entry from Hooverkins. Now I believe it's the first time she's joining one of my contests as well. And she created this nice little steel wild mouse. Now, at first glance, I think it looks really nice. You see all these temples here. So with this coaster going through, you see all these fountains. I think that all looks really pleasant. However, when you look a little bit closer, you'll start noticing some things. For example, this coaster defies gravity. It has a distinct lack of supports over here on this section, also over here. So once again, probably the power of friendship holding it up. Also, at some points, the coaster cars just phase through these buildings here. For example, over here, the coaster just pretends that these buildings or these walls here don't exist. Maybe they're just holograms. That's also a possibility. Same happens over here, and at several other spots. This Colosseum over here is also just a suggestion. So yeah, I think it looks like a pretty nice entry, but yeah, probably a good thing to keep scenery clearances in mind the next time you create an entry. But still, overall, pretty nice work. Alright, next up is the entry from Adrian 1994. He created this nice little spiral coaster that you see here. Now, I really enjoy this little layout. I think it looks really nice. It twists and turns here in both directions. And all in all, it just looks pretty nice. Now, also decoration under it, pretty sparse, but I think it's what you would expect under a little coaster like this. I also really like how the station here is decorated. Yeah, pretty simple, but very effective, I think. Some flowers here. Here's some of these shops. Kind of looks like how people would make this in the Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. And I really enjoy that style. So yeah, it's really nice to see our Adrian 1994 join the contest again. Really nice work. Alright, the next entry is from SolX. And SolX recreated the Lego set called 31084. And 31084 is a Lego set which has a roller coaster with a train in the shape of a shark, and also has a octopus or crab that's hanging from the track at some point, and it's an orange crab or octopus. So SolX actually made it so the palette colors the octopus or crab orange while it's normally green. Now, of course, there is a little bit of glitching going on, especially over here with the coaster passing through the ship. But overall, I think it looks really nice. I especially love the station here for the coaster. This castle just looks so nice. And yeah, it definitely has those Lego vibes. Alright, next up is the entry from Colorblind Unicorn. And Colorblind Unicorn recreated Oblivion, which is the dive coaster in Alton Towers. But not only did he recreate it, he actually reversed the last vehicle. Now, I think that would definitely be a very unique experience. Not sure how pleasant it would be, but it would definitely be thrilling to see the last vehicle with the guest facing backwards. Now, that, of course, nowadays is really easy to do with the right vehicle editor. But yeah, what I really like about this entry is how you can actually see inside the tunnel here. I think that's a really nice addition. Now you can also see this swinging ship here called Submission, but players were not allowed to have any other opened ride for this contest, so it is closed. Okay, next entry is from Wes, and Wes recreated a Skyrocket 2, and this Skyrocket 2 is named Skyrocket 2. You can find coasters like these in several parks throughout the world. I've actually ridden one in Holiday Park in Germany, and I think it's a really fun experience. Now, what Wes was mostly proud of is the way he did these supports, and I think the supports look really nice. Yeah, it's very elaborate support structure. It looks like it uses quite a lot of single rail coaster track. You can tell because it's called Single Rail Roller Coaster 1. And we also have Single Rail Roller Coaster 2 here. But yeah, I think the supports are really nice. I also really like how Wes did the station for this ride. Yeah, it just looks super nice. I think the reason why it's a bit lower on the list is because there's not any interesting surroundings. It's just path. But overall, really nice entry. Alright, you all know Kingda K. Well, this is Kingda Small. When you look at it, it's kind of small, and that's probably why it's called this, like this. But yeah, I think it's a really cool, smaller recreation of Kingda K. Here you can see the train. Here's a little launch track. Uses the LSM launch sprites, and goes up the hill here. A very tight top hat before it returns back. Here's a really small airtime hill, and then here there's these brakes, or these slope brakes here over here, and here's a little station as well. Let's see the queue go under the path here. Yeah, I think it's just a really nice rendition of Kingda K, or Kingda Small, I should say. Now, once again, an extra ride here, which isn't opened, of course, because that was not allowed, but it is nice to see. And this version of Sumanjaro actually shoots up instead of drops down. Alright, the next entry is from Sisigi, or Sasagai. No idea how to pronounce it, and I probably butchered it. Now, this was one of my favorite entries for this round. I just really love this lunar base. You can see this coaster get launched here. I think it has a really cool layout, with all these inversions here after this launch. And then finally here, it has this helix, which also serves as a dome. And I bet there's... oh, you can see Neil Legstrong here. I really love that pun. And I guess he's tending to the crops here. People on a lunar base also need to eat. So I'm guessing this is where they grow their food. I think it also looks... I think it looks really cool also with this rover over here. That's so cool. I also really love how he did the footers here, using these Virginia reel tubs with a lily on top. That's so cool. I just wish the building also looked as cool as the front does from all angles. From the back it looks kind of boxy. But yeah, definitely one of my favorite entries. Alright, next entry is from Max Arceus. Now, remember the part where I said people had to create a microcoaster? Well, I think Max Arceus misunderstood what he had to do, and he instead created this painting. I believe it's called The Wave of Kanagawa Nagagaga. Anyway, yeah, I think it's really impressive what he made here. This is one big hardline twister coaster. You can see all these vehicles travel back and forth here. It actually has quite a few guests on it. Let's see. I've selected the wrong ride. Let me try and select the right one. Yep, here we go. So it has 200, well, more than 200 vehicles. There's 754 people on the ride. That's pretty insane. And they will be on the ride for a while, since the ride takes 146 minutes and 25 seconds. And it probably has a bazillion inversions. The game stops counting at 31. And I'm pretty sure these are not the real stats for the ride. But yeah, really impressive what Max Arceus put together here. He created custom palette just specifically for those colors and to be able to color the coaster in these colors. And I believe he made a plugin to actually do the coloring for him, since doing this pixel by hand would have been very time consuming. But yeah, I saw a very wide spread of scores from all the voters, and I can definitely understand why. I mean, it's very impressive what he made here, but the coaster itself, it probably wouldn't be a really fun experience. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of this entry. I do think it's really impressive. Alright, the next entry is from Lurker. You can see lots of fake error messages here in the bottom, and that's simply the theme of this entry. It's a very chaotic entry, it looks very glitchy, and I love it. Especially love when I scroll down here like that, you can see the ground being all glitchy like that. I think that's a really cool effect. I also used it in a contest entry once where things were supposed to look glitchy. I think that's really fun. Now, yeah, you can see all this stuff flying around in the sky. You can see these eyes all looking around. Yeah, it's just really cool and creepy. And yeah, I think Lurker really succeeded in making a very chaotic but still cool looking entry. Now, Coaster also looks really cool. You can see this big spiral here, whatever. Yeah, it's very chaotic layout. Coaster travels up here. There's also a vehicle looking backwards, and then it returns backwards here through this inversion, and finally it makes it part way up this spike here before it returns back to the station. Yeah, I think the coaster fits really well into this chaos here. I think it's a really good part of the entry here, and I just love how chaotic everything is. And all the fake error messages, all the chaos, all the glitchy stuff happening here really ties the whole entry together. Alright, the next entry is from Fred37. I believe this is the first contest that he joined. And he created this water coaster. So the station is actually in this aqueduct, which I think looks awesome. Then the vehicles move down over here. And then here they enter this downward spiral around this tornado here. I really like how he used these flames here to extend the tornado. That's really cool. And you can see the coaster dip down here into this tunnel. And there's some more track here. I just love these custom supports here. That just looks so nice. It's actually coral supports. And then after that it goes back up here. And then back to the station. Now sometimes you can also see an eel here at the bottom, crawling out of its hole. You can see it over here, and all the underwater plants and foliage. I think it all looks great. Yeah, I think it's a really cool entry. Alright, here's the entry from Felix. I believe it's also the first contest that he joined. But yeah, I was super impressed with this entry. I just love the colors in this plot. Yeah, the cyan blue just works really well with the pink here, and yeah, I also just love the color of the foliage here in the background. It looks like this kind of faded green, so the browns look a little bit more yellow. And yeah, I think these colors all go really well together. Yeah, the station maybe could have looked a little bit more impressive. I personally always recommend making a roof with the roof just extending the flat wall here up a little bit and making a roof like that so that the building faces you instead of a pointy roof in the middle. That's just my preference, but that makes the buildings usually look a little bit more inviting. But yeah, I thought this entry looked really nice. I also just love these custom supports here. They look so good. But yeah, I was really impressed with the work from Felix. Alright, next entry is from Manticore 007. Now, Manticore 007 works at Efteling, and he decided to recreate a concept that was once released. I believe it was a concept from Efteling and Vekoma, and their concept was about a coaster which would generate its own power. So here you can see some solar panels on the side, and here on top of these buildings, well, these are windmills. Maybe a little bit difficult to see, but these are windmills here on top. And these windmills and the solar panels would be used to generate power for this coaster. Now it looks all very futuristic. You can see all these different towers here. So also some lights running around. I just love all the decorations here for these towers. Yeah, Manticore is just really creative with using lots of different objects that nobody even thinks about using. For example, one of the support structures here is actually a llama. Now, yeah, let me know in the comments what was the last time you saw llamas being used as a support structure for a coaster. I don't think I've ever seen anybody use those before. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool looking entry, and yeah, I just love the creative object usage. Nice work. Okay, next entry is from 30 and Timmy Tuner, and they recreated one of these old Schwarzkopf shuttle loops, and they did some really impressive things to make it look more realistic. So yeah, for one, they made it look like a weight drop coaster. So over here you can see a tower with this big weight, and yeah, the weight actually gets dropped down, and that's actually what's being used to accelerate this coaster. So that's how their early models of shuttle loop used to work. And that's not all. There's also this little pusher car. If I flip around, you can see it in action here. So here you can see this single rail coaster car, which acts as the pusher. You can see it go behind the car here, and here it pushes this train, and then it goes back here to the start. Yeah, I think I just love the trickery that they did here. Yeah, I think it's very impressive what they put together here. And these effects, I think they make it look really cool. And of course, there's also some really cool scenery around here. This tower looks amazing. I also love this Viper sign here with the big Anaconda train. Yeah, just a really impressive entry. Something which I also quite like is that this roof actually disappears from most angles, so you can actually look inside of the station here. Yeah, just some really nice details here. Okay, next entry is from Jimmy Giant. I'm not sure if Jimmy Giant has actually joined a contest before, but what he put together here is really impressive. Well, first of all, this was one of my favorite layouts for this contest. It's just really impressive, the amount of track that Jimmy Giant put in this small plot. So somewhere over here is actually the station. Oh yeah, it's over here. And it's actually a triple launch coaster. So first it gets launched partway up the hill, then it goes up this vertical spike, and then in the second launch it actually makes it over. And what I really like is that for this top hat, that the coaster just barely passes over this Ferris wheel. That's some really cool interaction. Now the Ferris wheel is of course just running in test mode, since contestants were not allowed to have any more opened rides, but it's still a really cool interaction. Now there's also a big structure around the coaster, of course. Yeah, personally I think maybe there's a bit too much usage of the same colors and materials. Maybe if there was a bit more variation, it would have looked even cooler. But still, overall, I think it's a really impressive build. And that's also why we find it here at 4th place. Alright, here's the entry from M Rockets, another name which I haven't seen before on my Discord. But yeah, I think M Rockets have put together a really nice entry here. This entry just looks fantastic. He made great usage of the available space here. And yeah, it just looks like a rectangular layout definitely work best for this contest. Yeah, I think the supports look really nice. I love how we put this little reinforcing ring here in the supports. You also see some other supports here for some of these elements. I think they look really nice. They do seem to be poking through the track at some points. Maybe this support is just a hologram. Not really sure. It does look like the coaster train doesn't have any trouble passing through it. So that's nice. But yeah, I think also the decoration really nice. It looks like some industrial buildings around it. And the foliage around here is also really nice. I also really like how the queue is decorated as well. Just with a simple roof with some plants over it. Yeah, it's just really nice work. Alright, there's just 2 entries remaining. I will first show both of them, and after that I will reveal which one is the winner of this round. Alright, first off, here's the entry from Skiva. And Skiva made this beautiful building here. Yeah, I love the way this building looks. It's pretty nice and firm and tall. And it even has a cool dude here in the window, which is always a big plus. Yeah, I love the decoration in this building as well. These waves look really nice. I love the variation in this building. You can see these different kinds of windows here, different kinds of structure, which makes this building look really interesting. I also love the decoration around the building here with this pier or this dock, also with these little boats here. Yeah, it's just all really nice to look at. The back of the building is more, less focused on windows, more on bricks. Yeah, I also love how the coaster is integrated in this building here. I believe it starts here somewhere at the top and it swoops down several times. It has several big inversions. I also really like this rotating tunnel here. Yeah, Skiva really outdid himself here in this entry. It just looks wonderful. By the way, I do really recommend that you check out these entries for yourself. I mean, it's nice and all to hear me blab about these entries. But, of course, for the true experience, you should definitely go and download these entries for yourself and check them out in OpenRCT2. You can download all these entries from my Discord server. You can find the link in the video description, and Discord is completely free. Alright, and here's the other possible winner. This is the entry from In Error Predicting a Fault. And he created this entry. Well, it's called Mind Flayer. Not really sure what the reference is, but it could be Stranger Things, maybe. But yeah, I just love that guest board from this big building here. The building looks really nice. And then they drop down into this abyss here. And here's a big mess of coaster track with all these, all these tentacles as support. It definitely looks very eerie. Now you can also see all this smoke and red stuff emanating here from the bottom. I think it looks really cool and creepy. Yeah, definitely not an area where I would like to get stuck. I can also see this bus here which does weird stuff. Yeah, I love this entry and I think it looks great. Also on top here, you can see this big building. Something which is a bit annoying is that I cannot scroll up more to check out everything which is up there. Maybe if I zoom out a bit, this is probably better. But yeah, we can actually also look inside the building, which has all been decorated. And yeah, In Error Predicting a Fault gave a few heights at which we could check with a cutaway view. So this is the area where the station is. And here's another floor. And then here's another floor, also with some creepy stuff, like the rainbow room. Not really sure what that is, but it looks like there's blood smears there. Looks pretty creepy. But yeah, I thought this was a super cool entry from In Error Predicting a Fault. Alright, now it's time to reveal which one of these last 2 entries is the winner of this round. Is it this creepy entry from In Error Predicting a Fault? Or is it the big waterside building from Skiva? And the winner of the second Microcoaster contest is... Skiva! Right, these last 2 entries were both really impressive, but Skiva takes the win for this round. Now, we had lots of beautiful entries in this round, also from lots of people who joined the contest for the first time, and I hope to see lots of these people join more contests in the future. It was really a joy to see all the beautiful things that you all created. Now, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed watching these entries, please like the video, it would really help out my channel, and please let me know in the comments which one of these entries you think is your favorite. And of course, if you want to see more videos like these, you can always subscribe to my channel. Alright, That's going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.